Good afternoon. Did they give any of these away yet? Does anybody want one? You want one? One over there, one over there, one over there. Whoa, sorry, right in the head. I got to tell you, that's the first time I've ever hit anybody in the head. On purpose. Jessica, there it is. Ellie, whoop, underhand. Craig. Hudson, way in the back. Nice. Holy cow. Did we get that on film? Because that was awesome. I liked their enthusiasm. Are you guys okay? Okay, we're going to put the balls away for now. Looks like you guys have been busy. Who won? Team 2. What was Team 2's name? Business Profits Now. Okay, and what was your guys' annualized yield?
18.7.
18.7. That's pretty good, right? What was the rest of you guys'? What was the worst?
I think we were the worst.
You were the worst and you won?
Yes.
Everybody else had more yield?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are doing some high-risk stuff, huh? All right. High risk, short term, right? Turning money every 3 months. Did we have any transactional funding group people? Was anybody trying to pull transactional funding off as one of their strategies? No? Okay. Interesting. All right. Did you guys enjoy the exercise today? Yes. Would anybody like to do that for a living? No. What if you made millions of dollars a year doing it? Oh, okay. So it's not the work that bothers you, it's the compensation. All right, good. Well, I'm glad we got that squared up. I'm going to talk to you guys about the missing link, 7 steps to getting paid without buying or selling real estate. Is anybody interested in that? Yes. Okay. Now, before I do that, we have some very special guests in the room. Where are my master brokers? Where are the master brokers in the room? Okay, Eldoris, good to see you guys. And Emmanuel and Nasheed in the back, good to see you. Any other master brokers in the room? Okay, where are my senior brokers? Do I have any senior brokers? All right, and do I have any broker certification graduates? Lisa, Mike, Roland, Judy, okay, and Dave way in the back. I need everybody that I just identified to assemble your things, please. Go ahead and assemble your things. You are leaving the room. Isn't that exciting? You guys are going out with Dave and Regan. We have a very special strategy session planned for you guys. We just had our all-team meeting this last Saturday up in Coeur d'Alene. We had our entire staff flying from around the country, and we've established some really new, cool things that we're going to be focusing on for our brokers in 2015, which we are calling the Year of the Client. So brokers, those of you that have already been through our broker training, you guys are going to go out and be brought up to speed on the changes for you guys, how this is exciting, and how you all are going to be making a whole bunch more money. Does that sound good? Eldoris? Yes? All right. So Dave and Regan, thank you for that. Dave, go ahead. Qualifying question.
We have one client that is a broker but hasn't been through the training. Stay or go to the
Who's the broker that hasn't been through the training? Laura. Okay, hang out and hear Laura. Yeah. If you haven't been through the training yet, you're not ready to start taking applications. Yeah, good. Okay, as they're leaving, how many of you in this room are actually buying real estate on a full-time basis? It's what you do for a living. Okay, 2 of you. And how many of you are doing this part-time? You're buying at least 1 or 2 a month. Okay, and how many of you are brand new to real estate investing? You've actually never bought an investment property before. Okay, good. All right, so we got a mixed group here. So my challenge will be giving something to all of you at the same time. So with that, let's begin. First of all, I'm not going to make any earnings claims. Now I'm going to show you some people who made a lot of money here, but your results will be different. How many of you guys attend our webinars on a regular basis? Okay, good. And how many of you attend the CEO Fireside Chats? Okay, so what are you going to do right now in this moment? No, with the disclaimer.
I agree.
Agree. Raise your right hand. Say, I agree to the terms and conditions of the disclaimer. Okay, good. Thank you. Now, some of you, I saw you raise your left hand, so we're going to work on following instructions. Let me begin with 2 questions. Do you know anybody needs access to cash right now? Okay. Do or could you use an extra $5,000 in the next 30 days? All right, so here's what I'm going to cover. Next 55 minutes, I'm going to show you how to take advantage of one of the biggest untapped opportunities available in today's market, how to participate in over $400 billion industry, go from being an employee to earning $3,000 to $5,000 a month to $120,000, or to earn a full or supplemental income helping others. How many of you guys are working full-time? You still have a full-time job, okay? And you took time off for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to travel and be here for this weekend. Okay, excellent. I appreciate all of you being here, but those of you that made sacrifices and used vacation time to be here, thank you. We don't take that lightly. And my goal with you guys, just like with Regan, and Regan remembers the story differently than I do. Regan tells the story that he was no longer wearing the halo. I recall the story that he came in with this big, massive halo, and it was pretty interesting. He kind of looked like Frankenstein. Regan has left the room, yes? Okay, good. All right. So I'll tell you the story very honestly. Kind of looked like Frankenstein. He came in, he sat down in the chair in my office, and I said, so what do you want to do? He says, well, I want to be a successful real estate investor. I said, well, how much money do you want to make? He said, well, I want to make at least $40,000 this year. And I said, get out of my office. He says I didn't say that, but I remember saying, get out of my office. And he did. Now, can you imagine yourself saying to somebody with a broken neck and a halo to get out of your office? That's kind of mean, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of mean. Am I just a naturally mean guy, do you think?
Sounds like Leon.
You've been around a while, haven't you, Ken? Yeah. What I don't do, guys, I don't mince words. I tell like it is. And if you want to make 40 to 100 grand a year, I'm not your guy. Seriously, anybody can teach you how to do that. I'm looking for the guys that want to make 100 to 6 to 7 figures consistently every year. Who's in that category? Okay. Now, to do that, here's what I'm looking for. Okay, I want you to write down the word predictable. I want you to write down the word predictable, expected, anticipated income. Now, what you guys are used to is having a job, right? Where you show up, you punch the clock, you invest so many hours of time, and every other Friday you get a sum of money, correct? Is that income relatively predictable? Can you rely on it? Is it expected? Yeah. Now, the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have, especially new entrepreneurs coming into the space, is they don't have any of those things. They don't have predictable income. They don't have expected and or anticipated income. So how do you go from being expectant to get a paycheck from somebody else to going expected, predictable, money's going to flow through me because of the following? How do you make that transition? Do you know? Okay? That's why you're here. Okay? So what you guys are looking for, the holy grail in business, is predictable, reliable income. Now, the way that you achieve it is through a book of business. How many of you have an existing book of business? Okay, what is a book of business? What's your name, sir? Ebby. There we go. Thanks, Ebby. Ebby, what is your existing book of business? Who's in it?
It's me and her, and me and my wife, Ebby, and we just, bought the gas station.
Oh, you just bought a gas station?
Yeah, last year in the 2013.
Where's the gas station?
And it's right in the Grapevine in the Hall Johnson exit in the 121 Grapevine. Exxon, not Shell across the street, Exxon.
Exxon.
So we just changed the pumps today. So we are trying to, survive, and she's a real estate agent in San Diego and accountant, and we finding the deal, but as you know that whenever you, approach the banks, SBA loan, 20% you should put down for this and that. And also the banks are so hard these days to get the loan. So we have one deal right now that's sitting, and we are just waiting to, get it funded and move it on.
You need some money?
Yeah.
How much?
Well, okay. she can say.
No,
lot better
whoa, Ellie, Ebby,
than-
way too many details.
25,000, no.
You need 25 grand?
Yeah,
Okay. You want to check now?
We'll take it.
you take it.
We'll take it. Now, wait. Are you guys from San Diego or Texas?
I've been living in San Diego for 5 years. I moved out of there and we got married just about last year.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And thank you. And I didn't want to stay in California. I don't like California, so I
Is
moved
anybody
out.
else from California in here? So no offense meant, right?
No, these guys are in the Texas now. These
Okay,
guys
good.
are in Texas now. So I moved out because
Okay.
the market over there is overloaded.
Okay, wait. We're going way down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You have a gas station.
Yeah,
You need 25 grand.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Now, Ellie, are you still living in California?
Yes.
And are you still actively working as an agent there? All right. Do you have a book of business? Because the original question was, what is a book of business?
Yeah, what is it?
What is it?
Clients?
Clients.
And actually, I have, I can say about 7 clients right now waiting for me to come back with giving me good news about you guys.
Okay.
If you guys can finance at 100%.
Okay. All right.
Because I did find a lots of few property for them.
What
And
part of San Diego are you in? Are you inland?
I am in UTC area, La Jolla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No cheap real estate there, is there?
Not at all.
All right, good. La Jolla, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a book of business? Yes, Tabitha. Who's in it? What is it?
I've got some investors that
Investors. How many investors?
we've got 7.
7 investors. Here comes the microphone. Anybody else?
We have also our real estate agents that we use to help market our properties when we're done flipping them.
Okay. And how many deals a year are you doing?
This is my first year, and we currently have 17 properties.
17, first year. Give her a round of applause. That's awesome. Good job. Okay, thanks, Tabitha. Anybody else have a book of business? Yes.
I don't have one, but 2 years ago I walked away from over 11 of them. I couldn't
Over 11
figure
what? Over 11 what?
11 clients who needed financing. I couldn't
Why'd
do
you
anything.
walk away from them?
I could not get money.
Okay. All right, good. Anybody else have a book of business? Get way in the back. What's your name? Mai. You look familiar. We met before?
Yes, we talked at one of the conferences. Noteworthy?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, Mai.
Yeah.
Tell me about your book of business.
Well, I've got several different kinds depending on what kind of business I'm working on at any one time. But
Just give me one of them.
well, real estate investors, buyers and sellers,
How
looking
many?
for money, deals,
many?
you know, that sort of thing.
How many?
Probably over 500 or so,
Okay.
maybe more.
All right, over 500. Good. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I didn't come on to what a book of business truly meant until about 2006. Okay? So in 2006, I started assembling a book of business. Now, a book of business is defined as a group of people who are interested in your product or service. A group of people who are interested in your product or service either now or in the immediate or foreseeable future. A group of people interested in your immediate business, either immediately or in the foreseeable future. Now, when I started, I had 0 in my database. Today, we have over 475,000 people in our database. So a book of business is a database where you store your contacts, your clients, your records, and you notate what it is they're interested in. Are they interested in buying, selling, brokering, building? What do they want? Okay? Now, as you guys think about making money, do you know what you want your clients to do? Do you know why you would want your clients to reach out to you, call you? Why in the world would I show up at your place of business, your establishment, and hand you money? Okay? Because ultimately, that's what you want your clients to do, isn't it? You want them to hand you money. So what business are you in that they're going to hand you money? Now, I heard it said this way, there's 2 sides to every cash register. And I like that, because as consumers, which side are we on? The one swiping our credit cards, right? As business owners, we are on what side of the cash register? The one where we're receiving the income. Now, the difference to go from where you are as an employee is right now you may or may not have any immediate effect on revenue to your company. Now, what that means is you're in a department that does research and development, or you're in the janitorial space, which is a supporting role to the company, but it's not in the income-producing role of the company. What is the main income driver in any business? Sales. And what must you have to be a good salesperson?
Leads.
Who said it? Say it louder, Alan.
Leads.
Leads. All right. So here's the two things we got to have for predictable, reliable income in business. Number one is leads. That is our book of business. And number two is sales. Now, at this point, I could end this conversation. You guys could take those 2 points and go out and be successful in any business, anywhere, any place, at any time. Do you believe that? How many of you guys watch the show The Prophet? Yeah. You like that show? The rest of you know what I'm talking about? Okay, do you watch Shark Tank? Yeah. Okay, so Shark Tank, you come up in front of the sharks and you present your product or service. They ask you a bunch of questions that half the people don't know the answers to, which they should. And then these sharks invest. What you don't see is all the due diligence that goes in after they shake hands and hug and agree to go into business with one another, and only half of those deals actually go through. In the show The Prophet, you follow a guy named Marcus Lemonis. Now, I want you to Google Marcus because he's got a pretty interesting story. Marcus Lemonis. And what he does is he goes into troubled or failing companies and he fixes them after they agree to a partnership. So he'll say, I'll give you $50,000 for half your business, or I'll give you $1 million for half your business. And then he goes in and he fixes the business. Now, I want you to notice the two things that he focuses on first. Okay? First thing he asks every business owner is, who is your customer? And I'm asking you that question now. Who is your customer? Now, obviously, in the real estate investment space, your customer is significantly different than the gas station business, correct? All right? Very different customer, but we must identify who they are. Because if you don't know what you want, you're going to have a very hard time finding them. Agreed? So who do you want in your business? All right? Once we've identified who it is we want, the next question we have to ask is, what are we going to sell them? Because if there's no sale of product or service, there's no income. And I don't know about you guys, I've been running businesses for a very, very long time, and I can tell you they're incredibly difficult to run when there's no income. Anybody feel that one a little bit? Okay? If there's no money coming in, guys, there's no growth, there's no increase, and worse, there's no paycheck. And that's where the problem lies. Now, my biggest pet peeve, I was on the phone the other day. Actually, no. I had a woman in my office. She was up there for the senior master broker training that we put on at the corporate office. And she'd come into my office and I said, well, tell me about what you've been doing. And she says, well, I've been working on setting up my business. I said, well, tell me what that means, setting up your business. She says, well, we've gone through all of the state filings, and we've set up the LLCs and the subchapter S Corps, and we've built out the websites, and, we've identified the office location, we've built the TIs, and we've done all this. I said, how much money have you invested? She says, well, we're into about $175,000. I said, how much money have you made? Well, I haven't made any money yet. All right. What's your product? Well, what do you mean? What are you going to sell that people are going to give you money for? Well, we're going to sell real estate. Okay, to who? To people. What people? All people. Okay, so your desired avatar, your desired customer is 360 million people walking the earth in the United States of America. Is that a difficult customer to identify and attract? You don't know who they are. Okay, so who's your customer? Why do you want to attract them to you? And what do you have that makes them want to give you money? Okay? So as we're going through this presentation, I want you to be thinking about that. Because you guys are here as real estate investors, correct? I have attracted you here with the promise of money. Haven't I? Both in profits on your business as well as money to borrow for your own respective businesses and your investments, correct? Is anybody here for any other reason? Okay, so we've covered it. All right, then let's begin. I'm going to show you the 7 steps to cashing checks, how to participate in the booming market, as well as how to be our partner or our competition. Now, I was on the phone the other day with a guy, and he said, well, Lee, this is what I'm going to do, and he described his business. And he's one of our clients, so he's been through all of our trainings, and he describes his business. I said, you know, your business sounds strangely a lot like my business. I said, are you preparing to set up as my competitor? Oh, no, Lee, I would never do that. And I said, why in the world wouldn't you? That's crazy. Guys, we run a multi-million-dollar enterprise. You should be modeling everything that we do. And something I learned in one of my masterminds, the S&D. Has anybody heard of that statement? S&D? Okay, S&D stands for swipe and deploy. A less savvy way of saying it is to steal and deploy. But you guys should be watching everything that we are doing, notating every move we make, every word we say, and going home and saying, how can I set up that very business model? Because if it works, shouldn't you do it? Yeah. And I said, you better be setting up your business to compete with mine. I said, because in my world, there's no such thing as a competitor. There are only future allies. Okay? Because if we're somewhat competing in business, are there synergies between us? Are there things that I know that you don't know but should know? Yeah. Are there things that you know that I don't know that I should know? Yeah. So wouldn't we all make more money if we came together in a collaborative environment as opposed to competing with one another? Now, how many of you guys know that I'm quite a fried chicken aficionado? Did you all know that? I love you. I love fried chicken. I'm telling you. My dad is from the South, so I grew up on fried chicken. So Sunday after church, you eat fried chicken. And any other day of the week you can get it. You eat fried chicken. Now, there is one brand that I especially love when I'm in the South. Any guesses as to what brand that is? Church's is good. It's not my favorite. KFC. I have a disdain for KFC. Popeyes. Thank you, Ken. I love me some Popeyes. Popeyes is good eats. Now, when I'm on the West Coast, I like to go healthy because, you know, it's warm. You got to wear tank tops everywhere, so you got to be in shape on the West Coast. So where do you eat chicken on the West Coast? Where?
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah, it's the waffles that kills you on the whole carb thing. Yeah, you go to Pollo Loco. Anybody been to Pollo Loco? Because it's baked, not fried. See, I succumb to the marketing just like everyone else. It's baked, not fried. It's good. It's grilled. It's baked. So in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where we hail from, there's no Popeyes and there's no Pollo Loco, which is disturbing to me because there should be. So I can complain about it or I can start one. So I'm in the process of purchasing a Popeyes franchise and a Pollo Loco franchise. Not this year because I promised the staff I wouldn't start any more companies this year, but in the very near future it's coming. And I've already identified 2 plots. 2 locations. One is on the east side of the street and the other is on the west side of the street. And I'm going to compete with myself. Okay? Because sometimes you want grilled chicken and other time you want fried chicken, and I want to make sure I'm getting paid either way when you want some chicken. Okay? Now, I give you this example simply to say you cannot be afraid of your competitor. In fact, you should come to respect your competitor and not necessarily do everything they do, but certainly be aware of it. Okay? What are they doing that's unique, that's interesting, that maybe is cutting edge, or it's a new trend or new wave? Follow them. Now, don't follow them to the point where that's all you do, because you need to be a market leader, not a market follower, but they are great for ideas, all right? So that said, I want every one of you to leave here with a plan to be my competitor in the private money lending space. Sound good? Okay. So who am I? I'm the Chief Executive Officer of a multi-million-dollar enterprise which consists of money management, portfolio servicing, capital deployment. Basically, what you guys did today is what we do all day, every day, except we do it through 2 private equity funds that we manage internally. I'm the chairman of those funds. We do manage a multi-million-dollar portfolio of private money mortgages, and I'm a published author. I've been involved now in thousands of real estate transactions nationwide, over $1 billion in real estate related deals. I'm involved in daily trends of raising capital, meeting with hedge funds, private equity firms, and affluent private investors around the world. Now, I want you to write some subset of this last bullet, okay? I'm involved in daily trends of raising capital, meeting with hedge funds, private equity firms, and affluent private investors around the world. Because this is eventually the business I want you all to be in. What do you think is harder, to find opportunity or to find money? I think it's easier to find money. Money is easy. Now, there was a time in my career that I thought money was by far the hardest thing to come by. It was the elusive little green thing that I could never seem to get my hands on. So I decided to become a student of money. What does that mean? Well, I started looking at what does money like? What is money attracted to? Where does money flow naturally and easily without too much work, effort, or strain? So as a student of money, I started becoming a raiser of money. Because here's what I've learned about money. Money loves opportunity. Money is attracted to increase, and money loves yield. But money has a problem. Do you know what money's problem is? It doesn't know where it can go to get predictable, reliable yield. There's that term again, predictable and reliable. See, you want it in your business from the standpoint of an income, but you need to understand that investors want it from the standpoint of their investments. They want a predictable, reliable income. Now, is the stock market a predictable, reliable source of income? No. Okay, the Dow closed last Thursday, I think, at 18,000. And then yesterday it opened at a 200-point plunge, and it closed today at 17,320. Now, if I had my money in some mixed index of the Dow a week ago, how many points have I lost on my investment if we close at 1830 to now 17.3? I've lost about 8% of my portfolio in a week, haven't I? So yesterday I am a hero, today I'm a zero in the eyes of my investors, aren't I? Now, you guys need to understand that you actually bring something incredibly valuable to the investment community as well as to people that have cash. You bring predictable, reliable income and returns on investment. So you got to change the way you think about money, and you got to change the way that you think about yourselves, because you are not somebody who desperately needs money for your deals. You are somebody who has amazing opportunities that produces predictable or reliable yield, and you are looking for the next person you're going to allow to give you money. Do you see the change in positioning? I'm going to allow you, is it Denise? Yes. I'm going to allow you, Denise, to be involved in this investment. You're welcome. Now write me a check for $100,000. Sure. Versus, Denise, I went to a real estate seminar, and I'm going to be a real estate millionaire. So would you give me $100,000?
You don't sound very confident about what you're doing.
Confidence? Well, I'll get confidence after we do a few deals and I've lost a couple million, and then maybe I'll have some confidence.
I don't think so.
I'm very sad, Denise. That was a great deal. Now, you guys laugh, and I've heightened the example on purpose because this is how many of you approach raising money. You come to the investors hat in hand like they're doing you a favor. And it's the wrong positioning. You bring all the value. Because without you, they would have to go out and source their own deals, wouldn't they? And they'd have to sit in the back of the realtor's car and drive around and look at deals all day long. And they'd have to write the offer. And they'd have to negotiate the deal. And they'd have to shop for a title company to close. And they'd have to order the insurance. And they'd have to manage the properties and the tenants and the toilets. Now, do you honestly believe that people who have money want to do any of those things? No. Then why are you struggling to get cash? Please read this book, Tony Geary. Jeery, or it's Jeary. Which is it? Jea? Jea. Tony Geary. The book is called Life is a Series of Presentations. Life is a series of presentations. 'Life 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 is a se Now, what many of you are going to discover is that your challenge lies not in your deal as much as it lies in the way you're presenting the opportunity to your investors, okay? Now, within our company, we have Secure Investment Corp, which is the parent company. Now, I want you guys to understand the differences and the reasons behind each. Because some would say, Lee, why do you have so many brands? Why not just be one brand? Well, because I'm attracting different audiences depending on what the brand is. Now, in my Secured Investment Corp brand, this is the brand we use to raise capital. So I needed it to be very corporate, I needed it to be very Wall Street, and I needed it to look like what all the other yuppie yahoos are doing on their websites. So it's very clean, straight lines, bold block text, right? Everything that investors are accustomed to seeing. Now, for me to roll out anything cartoonish or playful would be silly because investors want predictable and reliable. And when it doesn't look like what everybody else is doing, it freaks them out. So we keep Secured Investment Corp just very corporate. Our other brand is Coco Capital, which you have seen here. Coco Capital is a little bit more fun, a little more playful, a little more youthful, because it is competing directly with peer-to-peer lending networks. Okay? And it is there to attract real estate investors who need cash. See, when you are in the fundraising space and you're really good at it, you create an entirely new problem for your company. Did you know that? Do you know what the problem is? What are you going to do with it? I got millions of dollars and I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with it. Did any of your groups today experience that you had more capital than you could deploy? Yes. Did any of you find yourself scrambling at the 9th hour to find any piece of crap file you could shove money into? Anybody experience that? Okay. Now, if you do that in the real world, you're going to get in big trouble, okay? Because you cannot be in a place where you're scrambling to find places to stick money. That's how you get into trouble, okay? So as you guys are raising capital, you need a system or a vehicle through which you can deploy said capital to get you the returns. Now, another system and product that we use to bring in what we call deal flow. Now, what you guys were doing here with these files, that was your deal flow. We provided it for you. In the real world, what are you doing to create deal flow? Now, deal flow is somebody who wants to give you money, meaning they're coming to you through your marketing messages, your ads, your Craigslist ads, your ClickBook, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you got. This is your deal flow coming to you. What are you guys doing right now in your business to get customers coming to you? And do you know how to turn it up and turn it down? If you needed 50 new leads tomorrow, do you know what you would do to produce those leads? Because until you do, you don't have predictable, reliable income. You have income that is subject to your customers finding you. And that's a very risky place to be in business. Okay? Do you want to be begging customers to come or batting them off with a stick? Stick. Yeah, we want stick. Okay? So Private Money Exchange is a product that we developed back in 2010. How many of you are in here are Private Money Exchange affiliates? Okay? So basically the way this works is when you send us deal flow and we fund it, we pay you. Right? You guys familiar with this? Private Money Exchange has been a tremendously popular brand. It's done very well over the years. We have generated tens of thousands of leads through our affiliates through Private Money Exchange. Here's the problem. The leads aren't as quality as we would like them to be, and every time you send me a name, email, and a phone number, you create for me what could be hours or days worth of work that we may or may not fund. Now, what if we could pay you guys a lot more money to do all the work? Anybody be interested in doing that? Okay? Now, all of this is brought together through our servicing company called Lake City Servicing. Now, I didn't start with Lake City Servicing. We actually built the company with another servicer called FCI. They're a group out of Anaheim, California, and they did a really good job on the servicing side. Turns out they were really horrible at foreclosure. And as a lender, will all of your clients pay you on time every time? No. And when they don't, what must you do? You have to foreclose. Now, here's what we didn't get into, the Paul Harvey of today's exercise. You guys didn't experience working through defaulted assets or troubled assets within your portfolio. So your yields were based on a perfect scenario where every loan you make never misses a payment and pays back exactly on time. Is that how the business works? No. No. When they don't pay, you got to collect. And when you can't collect, you got to foreclose. And when you got to foreclose, guess what you own? Real estate. Okay? So Lake City Servicing rounds it all out. Now, I'm not just some jerky business guy. I'm also a husband and father. This is my family. This is my kids. This is them. This is the day they got their first check as a hard money lender. My kids are currently making about 23% return on their portfolio in their CISA, as you heard Regan talk about, Coverdale Education Savings Plan. Do you guys have these for your kids? Okay, you should. It's a Roth IRA for your kids. You can set them up for your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces, whatever you want. The way it works is you put in $2,000 a year. As long as your kids or nephews or nieces or grandkids work for your business in some capacity. What do my kids do for my company?
Clean the office.
Clean the office. Well, the twins now just turned 8. That's these two here. They're the twins. And this is Harrison. He'll turn 7 next month. So they wouldn't be very good at cleaning. What else could they do? Good. They're models. And they are working right now as we speak. So I'll be depositing $2,000 into their CISA account tomorrow. Thank you for putting my kids to work. I appreciate it. Now, what could you be doing for your kids in the same capacity your grandkids? $2,000 a year. Everything that goes in is tax-free. When they turn 18, they can use all of that money for tuition, school, books, and everything else. And do you guys know what the next coming crash is? We had the big real estate crash. What's the next pending crash? Do you know? It's student loans. Okay? Student loans are one of the only non-dischargeable debts in bankruptcy. And we have 22-year-old kids graduating all day, every day with big degrees that don't afford them a job that's paying much more than 12 or 13 bucks an hour. But they have on average $50,000 in student loans at 1.75%, where the federal government is insuring $1.5 trillion of that debt. It is saddling our kids, which means they can't qualify for housing. So who's going to buy your inventory, real estate investors? You got to be real concerned about that, because we are coming, over the next decade, we are coming into an era where we're going to see more dyers than buyers. And I want you to write that terminology down because it should scare you to death. More dyers than buyers. Who's dying?
Baby boomers.
Baby boomers. Okay? The greatest generation that ever lived. There's more of them than ever. And they're dying faster than we are having new births. So the population is shrinking. Has anybody wondered why Obama just granted amnesty to 5 million illegals? We need the people. You know, hate him or love him, that's not the point. If you're not going to birth them, we got to bring them in. So, anybody want to have some more kids in here? Me neither. I say bring them in. Come on down. We need some more. Okay? But that's why I do this. I love my family. I love real estate. I love helping you guys make more money. Now, the motto of our company is this: we get more of what we want by helping others get more of what they want. I am here today because I want something from you. I want you to make money. Are you okay with that? Now, if you're making money, though, I have certain expectations of my own, which are, I better make money too. Okay? I don't believe that commerce exists where there's a winner and a loser. And even when I'm the winner in that scenario, I don't like it. Everybody's got a win or you got problems. And you may have a short-term win, but you're going to have a long-term lawsuit. And it's not worth it. So that's why I'm here. Now, you're here because you either feel undervalued or undercompensated either by your business partner or your employer. You need or would like extra income. You want to retire sooner than later. And given the challenges that our government tax, inflation will inevitably continue to rise, and you need a solution to offset this. Is there anybody in the room that this slide does not cover your current situation? Okay. And you'd probably like to see some of these. Would anybody like to get this check in the mail? $1,320. How about this one? What about this one? What about this one? Okay, now, would it be helpful if those all came in the same week? Is that possible? Yeah. Guys, we close on average anywhere from 20 to 40 loans a month. So these checks are coming in pretty consistently, aren't they? 1 to 2 a day. Now, these are just the broker checks. This doesn't come into what Kogo's getting. This is just what our brokers are getting paid for bringing deals to us. Does anybody want to bring deals to us and get paid for it? Okay, because that's what we want too. Now, some things to consider. The average income American households are these. From 45 to 54, you make on average 63.8. From 55 to 64, you make 55. And from 65 and older, you make 33. Biggest problem we have with this subset here is this subset right now we are seeing 10,000 people turn 65 years of age every day in America. 10,000 a day is how many are hitting this age group. Now, given our current cost of living, regardless of where you live, can you survive on this? No. Okay, now keep that in mind, and then I got another slide for you. Look at this slide. This is where they're retiring, okay? So when they retire at 65, or if they choose to retire, this is on average how much they have in their 401k, 150 grand. Now, if I still work at the company, I can't pull out my 401k if I derive the 401k while employed at that company. So when I quit, now I can do something else with it. I've been working a job as an employee in middle management for the last 35 years. I've got a 401k with 150 grand. I'm going to start drawing unemployment next week for $3,200 a month or $1,600 a month for a lot of people. How am I going to survive? Now, sadly, what a lot of people are doing is they're taking this 401k and they're investing it in all kinds of things that don't produce income. They produce return, they produce yield, but can you live on yield? No. What do you got to have? You got to have income, okay? And just because I'm now suddenly 65, does that mean all of my bills are paid and I have no longer any monthly obligations? So what frequency do I want to get paid? I need monthly income, don't I? Now, if I take my $150,000 and I invest it into all of the investments that my advisor encourages me to invest in, I'm going to find myself in some REIT making 4.7, or if I don't trust my advisor, I'm going to stick it into a CD where I'm making on average 1.52% annually. Now, what is 1.52% annually on 150 grand? It's not much. Now, in the private money world, let's say that you guys have an incredible deal, right? Ken, you've got an amazing deal. You're going to buy it for $100. You need $50,000 for renovation and repair. When it's all said and done, you're going to sell it for $250. Without assuming costs and everything else, what's your net? $100,000, okay? If I'm your 65-year-old retiree and I've got 150 grand, make me an offer to do the deal with you. What do you want to give me? 6%. You're going to give me 6%. All right. Anybody else want to pay me more? How much? And is it Angel?
Yes.
How much Angel?
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Well, is it 8 or is it 10?
10.
Okay. Because if I have a choice, it's going to be 10. All right. Your name again? Tabitha. How much are you going to give me? You'll give me 12%. All right. So if I give Tabitha my 150 grand, how much will I make at 12%, assuming the loan goes a year? Isn't it $15,000? $18,000. So I'm going to make $1,500 a month, right? All right, is that pretty good? Take my $1,500, match it up with my Social Security income of $1,200. I'm now making $2,700 a month. Is that better? Yeah. Can anybody do better than Tabitha? How much? And is it Sean? How much, Sean? 15%. All right, I like 15%. Anybody willing to go higher? I got 150 grand here, people. 15%. How much, Leroy? 50%. Where would you like me to wire the check, my friend? Yeah. 50% return on my money. How much is that to me in a year? $75,000. Am I living large now? Yeah, here's the problem. I don't trust you. Or anybody else who offers me high rates of return. Why? Because I'm conditioned to believe that 5% is a great return. We have found that when we put out marketing pieces with a 12 to 50% return, we get significantly lower responses than when we offer 5. Does that make any sense to you? Hey, if you want 5, I'll give you 5. I'm willing to give you 12, but if you'll take 5, I'll give you 5. Okay? Now, this is the market you guys are coming into. Okay? So now, how many of these people, if we've got 10,000 people a day turning 65, how much money a day is looking for yield? You ever thought about it in those terms? That's a lot of cash looking for some yield, isn't it? Okay? Now, why would I tell you this? Lee, you're a lender. You've got millions of dollars that you're trying to lend to us. Why in the world would you tell us where you're going to get your capital? Any guesses as to why I would tell you that? Okay, I do it for 2 reasons. Number 1, I want you to understand that we understand the money business. We know exactly where to go to get it. Okay? Number 2, statistically, less than 5% of you in this room right now are actually going to do anything with the information I just gave you. Now, I would like for you to look out around the room. I want you to identify the 5% that are actually going to succeed at this. Do you see them? Now, how many of you like that statistic? Okay, the opportunists in the room are like, hey, great, no competition. Right? I hate that statistic. Why? You guys are investing valuable time to be here. And time is the most valuable, non-replenishing asset you have. Money's easy. You can lose money all day long. You can burn a house down and rebuild the thing. You can't get time back. So are you investing your time into the thing that is going to produce you the highest yield in the shortest period of time? You better be. But understand this one thing. In real estate investing, money is the easiest part of the transaction. And if you are struggling to find it, it's because you're not communicating to it the way it needs to be communicated to. Sadly, if money is not coming to you in rapid succession, whose fault is it? Yours. Okay, now there's something I use called the control responsibility formula. Please write it down. Control equals responsibility. Control equals responsibility. And then below that, I want you to rotate those 2 words and put responsibility equals control. Okay, so here's the way the formula works. If you want more control in your life, your business, your income, your everything, you take more responsibility. Which means you don't get up because you have to, you get up because you need to. That's what your business requires. And if you need to go to an event and do this or that, you do so because you need to for your business to succeed, not because you have to. Now, when you give away the responsibility for your income, your benefits, your retirement, you completely lose control. And who do you give the control to? Other people. 90% of the population is employed by 10%. Now, the 90% of the population that is employed by somebody else, they basically said, I want you to take control over my income, my benefits, my 401k planning, my investment strategy, and I'll just show up every morning at 8 and go home at 5, and you'll give me a check every 2 weeks. Do you like hearing that? No. But have we been trained differently? Have we ever been taught that's not the way you do it? No. Why do you suppose they're not teaching entrepreneurialism in high school? When do entrepreneurs pay their taxes? At the end of the year. When do employees pay their taxes? Every pay period. Interesting. So who is it easier to collect money from? Employers or employees? Employees. So it makes sense to put out rhetoric that says be an employee. It's safer, it's easier, right? I saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said, get to work. Millions of unemployed people are depending on you. But that's where we're at. Now, I'm not going to get into a socialism debate here with you today, guys, but I want to open your eyes to one reality. You decide today whether you will be a successful entrepreneur or if you won't. You decide today whether or not you will be in control of your own income, take responsibility for it, or you won't. Either way, you decide. The choice is yours. What are you going to do with the choice? Now, what are you going to do with these statistics? Because I don't know about you, I'm very excited for the next decade. I think the next decade is going to be a whole bunch of fun. because there's all this capital that's going to be freeing up. You guys need to understand it and know what it's looking for. Now, I talked briefly about the CD rate. Look at the current return, 1.34. Now, Mike Santee, the managing editor of Bankrate, said this: we found that many senior citizens are significantly underfunded and risk running out of money. Concerning on top of this, banks aren't helping. What was your name again, sir? Ebby. Thanks, Ebby. Okay? Here's what you're talking about. The number one challenge that businesses have right now is access to capital. The median capital needed for most businesses is 44 grand. That's it. Ebby, you said you needed 25 grand. And would that significantly change the course of your business?
No. It is what we need for buying, rehabbing that house.
Okay, would 25 grand be helpful?
Yes.
All right. Have you called any banks?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
What is your credit score?
Okay. What is your credit score? Well, I'm glad you called banks because look at this. 45% of businesses that need capital don't even call banks. They don't even apply for financing. Why? Because they assume that they can't get it. Which is why you are seeing peer-to-peer lending platforms popping up in droves. How many of you guys have heard of OnDeck? Anybody on deck? Okay, they just went public. OnDeck is a peer-to-peer private equity lender to business owners where they will attach themselves to your merchant account and withdraw your monthly payment right out of your income. Is that okay? All right. Another company went public about 3 weeks ago. Lending Club. Anybody use Lending Club? You know who they are? Has anybody applied for a loan through Lending Club? Did you get it? How much? $25,000. Was it easy? Very. Was it simple and painless? No problem at all. Did you enjoy the experience much more than going to a bank? 100 times over. Ah. Now, the reason you're seeing peer-to-peer lendings popping up everywhere and check into cash on every corner is Generation Y doesn't trust banks. Do you know why? Because Generation Y is the first generation that saw their parents lose a home to foreclosure. And who foreclosed on them? Banks. Generation Y does not trust banks. So you're seeing all other alternative lending types popping up. Another one, Prosper.com. So we've got OnDeck, we got Prosper, we got Lending Club. All three of those companies went public in the last 90 days. I invest on Lending Club's platform. I own stock in Lending Club. And I have borrowed money from Lending Club just to see if they'd give it to me. And they did. Who knew? Investopedia said this, a recent report, U.S. banks are now responsible for a measly 25% of all lending. Anybody heard of Frank Dodd? Okay, what's Frank Dodd? The congressman that drafted the Frank Dodd bill, which was passed into Congress in 2010. What does Frank Dodd say? What?
It's the fair lending, the extension of
Reg Z, Truth in Lending, yeah. The greatest proponent of Frank Dodd was that you got to have 20% down to get mortgage financing. Now, there was an article in the paper about 90 days ago where a guy named by the name of Ben Bernanke, you guys know who Ben is? Yes. Who's Ben? Federal Reserve. Ben Bernanke was denied on a refinance on his personal residence. The former chairman of the Federal Reserve. Thank you. Wow. My tongue got in front of my eye tooth and I couldn't see what I was saying. Ben Bernanke was denied for a loan because he didn't have consistent, steady income. He didn't have a job because he had retired from the Federal Reserve. So now they're going in and they're revamping the whole thing for two reasons. Number one, Ben Bernanke's statement was incredibly damaging. Number two, this right here. Banks can only attract 25% of the business because their lending guidelines are so thin, there's very few people they can lend money to. And they're getting eaten alive by all of the independent, non-FDIC insured banks or lenders. Now, do you guys want to be a lender in here? Okay? Now, there's a reason I'm going through all of this with you. We have a mission, a purpose, and a goal for every single client that comes through one of our trainings. It is to lend you as much money as you will ever need to buy every house you'll ever want to buy. House, apartment, condo, I don't care. Land development, you want to buy it, we'll lend you money on it. However, there's going to come a point in your career where you're going to get sick and tired of managing tenants and toilets. Anybody in that category yet? Okay. That means you either haven't been doing it long enough or you don't have enough properties to be annoyed by it yet. You will get there. Now, when you do, you're going to sell all of your assets and you're going to be sitting on a whole bunch of cash. And then what are you going to do with it? You're going to lend it. Now, your choices are twofold. You can either lend it by going out and creating your own deal flow, doing your own due diligence, doing all of the servicing, collection, foreclosure, or you can lend it through who? Me and Coco Capital. Okay? So we are building a machine. Right now, you guys need to identify, am I a borrower, am I a lender? Now, some of you in here can be both. I borrow money from Coco Capital. I've got several houses that we acquired that I have under renovation. I got 100% financing and all the money I needed for fix-up and repair. Is that a good way to go? Yes. I also buy Coco paper. I invest in the loans that we generate. And my kid, CISA, is currently invested in multiple notes around the country. So we are doing what we teach, and I think that's really what sets us apart. So this is not so one-sided. Do everything we say and we'll lend you money and go away. No, 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 no. Guys, if you aren't in this room 20 years from now as a multi-gazillionaire making on average 23%, I'm going to be very angry with you. Are you going to be angry with you? Some of you are saying 30 years, Lee. I'm not going to be here in 30 years. Well, God bless you. Lucky you. Because of this, there's very little startup capital, there's very little financing available, there's very little money available if you own properties. Does anybody in here own any free and clear real estate? Have you tried to go to the bank and get a loan on it? What'd they say? No, why? Oh, you don't live there? Oh. If you don't live there, we can't lend. That's what they say. Banks want owner-occupied assets. Cogo will give you guys loans to do cash-out refis on all your free and clear assets. Now, these are some of the same harsh realities I was facing when I got started. My first deal happened while I was working at this grocery store. I was this guy. Now, just for full disclosure, that is not actually me. But it's the closest picture I could find that looks like Opie, which is how I looked at the age of 18 years old, right? While I was working at the grocery store, I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Anybody read that? Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, what does that book tell us about the wealthy? If you want to be rich and successful, you got to do what? You got to hang out with rich and successful people. Anybody been to a grocery store lately? Any millionaires working there? No. Okay? So I was kind of in a quandary. So I'm going to start investing in real estate. So I found this deal, but I didn't have any money. I'm 18, I'm paying to put myself through community college, my credit cards are maxed out. I actually got denied for a Big Mac meal at McDonald's during break at school. I swiped my card and was denied for a $4.97 Big Mac. Can you believe that? I was in a pretty bad spot, wasn't I? So where am I going to get money? If I can't get $5 for a burger, where am I going to get money to buy this place? From a friend. Okay? So I went to the grocery store and I asked all of my friends if they'd lend me money. And all of them said, Lee, stay in school, get a good job. Real estate's not the way to go. Well, they were very wise, weren't they? Well, I actually found the pharmacist at the grocery store to finance my first deal. Okay? So he put up the cash to buy the property. He put up the money for me to do the rehab. I did all the work myself. I sheetrocked it. I plumbed it. I did the electrical in it. I did everything. When it was all said and done, we sold it 6 months later, and I went to the closing table, and guess who made almost as much money as me? The pharmacist. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, well, wait a minute, I did all the work. Why are you getting as much money as me? He said this to me, he said, Lee, opportunity costs. Touché. Because I had just put $19,000 profit in my pocket with none of my own money. So what did the opportunity cost me? About 19 grand. Was it worth it? Yeah. Okay? But I like the pharmacist earning so much, I decided that I wanted to be a private money lender. Here was only one problem. I didn't have any money. So how do you become a private money lender if you don't have any money? I'm going to show you. Okay? I ran this ad. I want you guys to run this ad. Fast private money loan secured against real property, no credit check, fast closings, call Lee, 555-555-555. Now, obviously, that's not my real phone number. And I want you guys to put in a real phone number. Now, you think I'm joking. I had a lady call me. She said, Lee, your ad's stupid. It didn't work. I said, well, send me the ad that you ran. Sure enough, that was the ad. The same phone number. Okay, interesting. Okay, when you run this ad, you're going to get phone calls. Now, one of the first phone calls that I got was from a woman named Carol. Okay, now Carol owned this 46-unit apartment building, and she needed 25 grand, which is not a lot of money. Okay, her boiler had gone out. Now, does this building look like it retains heat well? All brick. Have you guys found all brick homes to be all warm and cozy, or are they a little drafty usually? A little drafty? Okay. So her boiler goes out. She's got no heat. And her tenants say, Carol, if you don't have heat here within the next 48 hours, we're moving out. Now, Carol doesn't own the properties free and clear. She's got mortgages to pay. Where does she get the money to pay her mortgage? From her tenants. And if the tenants move out and don't pay, what happens to Carol? She loses the property. Okay? So commerce. She's got to have cash. So she calls the bank. What do you suppose they said? Nope, Carol, we're not lending you the 25 grand. You're already over leveraged in the property. We won't do it for you. So she called on my ad. She said, Lee, what can you do? I said, well, let's talk, Carol. I said, what do you got? She says, well, Lee, I've got a property here worth about $1.5 million. I said, well, what are the liens? She said, I owe $1.2 million. Now, based on the rules above, and I want you guys to write these down, okay, as a lender, we don't lend unless we're in first lien position. And if you're going to leave here and just become a lender because you got some cash laying around, do not lend in a second or a third or a fourth lien position. Every story that I've heard where people lost money in lending is because they took a subordinate second or third position. You've got to be senior, the first lien. Now, if it's a residential property, we can lend up to 65% of, please write this down, the as-is value. I don't care what it's worth next week or next year. What is it worth right now? Because if you don't pay me back and I have to foreclose, which property am I taking back? The property right now or the property next year? The one right now. Okay? So when you guys talk about after repaired value lending, where some appraiser is throwing a dart and saying, well, I think in this much time it's going to be worth X, Y, Z. Well, that's great, but right now it's worth this. So we're going to lend based on that. Now, what kind of property does Carol have here? All right. And what are the rules for commercial? 55%. So here's my question. Can we lend? No. We can't lend. She's got 3 other mortgages. All right? So if we lend, what position are we in? Fourth. Now, here's my question for you guys. If I foreclose through a fourth lien position, do I own the property? No. The answer is yes. I do own the property. Subject to paying off the third, second, and the first. Now, if I'm a new lender and I've got 25 grand to play with, and you default on my $25,000 loan, where am I going to come up with $1.2 million to cure the senior debt? Nowhere. And am I going to get paid when the property goes to auction? Nope, because the first is going to foreclose and wipe everybody else out. So we can't lend. However, we always ask a follow-up question. Okay, and the question is, Carol, do you have anything else of value that I could be in first lien position on? Now, for you guys that are affiliates, those of you that are going to become brokers with us, you need to be very good at asking that question. Do you have anything else of value? So Carol says, you know, Lee, now that I mention it, I've got a lot. I think it's worth about 150 grand. I said, well, Carol, give me the address. And I ran some quick numbers. If we lend Carol 25 grand on an asset value at 125, what is our loan to value? Is that what you got? 6. Is that pretty low risk? Yeah. Okay. So can we lend? Yes. Who says yes, we can lend? All right. Who says no, we can't lend? And who's not going to raise their hand no matter what I say? Thank you, Denise, for the honesty. I appreciate that. The answer is, can we lend? It's maybe. Okay? Now, the maybe is what triggers your guys' brain to start asking a lot of questions. Now, in your exercise today, the questions were presented for you, weren't they? Okay, when you got these nice, pretty little files, you've got appraisals, you've got tax returns, you've got bank statements, you've got assessed values, you've got title work, you've got credit reports. Did you all see those in these files? Some of them. Do you know why you didn't see that in all of them? Because once we get to a certain point, guys, if stuff does not start adding up, we stop asking questions and we're done. Okay? Now, in this stack of files, you probably found that there were maybe 5 to 10 of them that had actually been funded. Did anybody see a funded file in your stack?
There were none.
There were a few of them. We intersperse them. And with those, you see the checks and the closing statements and everything else. Question?
I did find some of your paperwork.
You did find some of my paperwork. Did I get the loan?
Actually, no. It was just your. It was bylaws for a corporation in which you were the manager.
Oh, okay. Cool. I guess I didn't get the loan. They stopped asking questions, right? A full file, you guys, contains all of that information. Now, this is important for you as lenders, it's important for you as brokers, because you've got to collect all of that data. See, many of you have attempted to broker loans before and they didn't go anywhere because you came to the lender with incomplete information. You got to have everything in there to let me know, is this a good deal or not? So I've got to get this stuff from Carol. But the first thing I need to do is I need to determine, is this a real property, and do I believe that the value is there? Do borrowers ever lie about value? Do borrowers ever lie about condition of the property? Yeah, they'll say whatever they got to say to get money. Now, here's Carol's lot. Now, based on this photo, which is what Carol sent me, can we lend? You think that lot's worth 150 grand? Where is it? That's a great question. All right, based on the photo here, where do you suppose it is? What kind of trees are those? Are those southern or northern? Okay, I got some single family properties over here. Not much too exciting, would you guys agree? Well, I went out and I looked at the property. I stood right here in this little shadowy area and I saw this. This property is kitty corner to my dirt. What do you think of the lot now? Okay, where does Starbucks put up property? Where do they build stores? In high traffic areas, right? So you see this check into city? Check city, check cashing place? Between this building and this building is State Street. And it runs right down the center of Salt Lake City. Anybody been to Salt Lake City? Okay. This road sees 150,000 cars a day. So how much traffic does this lot see every day? Lots. Is it worth 150? Yeah. It actually turns out it's worth about $300,000. Now, what Carol had not done is she had not gone in and changed the zoning. So it was still zoned in R2, which is residential 2 units per acre. She should have changed the zoning to a commercial zoning, and it would have been worth significantly more. But that's not the point. Is it a safe loan? Yeah. Should we lend the money to Carol? Yeah. All right. So I say, Carol, it looks like the lot is there and value is there. So Carol, here's what I can do for you. I can lend you the 25 grand. I'm going to charge you 5 points in loan origination fees. And I'm going to charge you 25%. However, Carol, I need you to pay the loan back in 60 days. Now, what do you suppose Carol says? Is this a decent loan for Carol? Yeah, she's going to get the 25 grand. I'm going to give it to her tomorrow. Will she get the boiler? Yes. Yeah? Okay, so Carol agrees, which is exciting and scary all at the same time. Why? I don't have any money. Do you guys remember that part of the story? I don't have any cash. So what am I going to do? Okay? I'm going to go to my book of business, my customer base, my contacts, and I'm going to say, hey, do any of you have 25 grand that you would like to make 25% return on for the next 60 days? Anyone? You'll do it? Okay, what's your name? Aaron. So Aaron, if you put up the 25 grand, are you okay if I keep the points? which means I'm going to get $1,250 and you're going to get 25% return. Are we good, Aaron? Well, you'll do the deal? Okay. Now, let's say Aaron doesn't do the deal. Where else could I get 25 grand? Some of you have credit cards, and you have room on your credit cards where you can do a cash advance against your credit card for $25,000 at money that will cost you 10%. So if we borrow money from a credit card at 10 and lend it at 25, are we making cash? Can you borrow money from banks and then re-lend that same money and make more money on that money? Can you do that? Is that legal? Do you know any other companies out there that do that? Banks. Do you know where banks get their money? From the Federal Reserve. Okay, depositors simply give them leverage. Now, when you take $1 and give it to the bank, do you guys remember that CD rate chart? How much are they giving you on a CD? 1.52 if you type your money for 5 years. Now, when you give me, the bank, $1, what can I then leverage with the Federal Reserve with your dollar? 10. Okay? It's 10 to 1. So you give me $1, I can go to the Federal Reserve and get $10. What is my current cost of capital from the Federal Reserve? It's 25 basis points. Okay? It's 0.25% per year. What am I paying you? Yeah, per year. I'm paying you 1.52 over 5 years. Okay. So I now take my 0.25 money, and what do I, the bank, now do with that cash? I lent, Denise, do you have a home loan? There you go. Do you have a car loan? There you go. So we give our money to the bank where they give us dismal rates of return. They then use our capital to get leverage from the Federal Reserve, which gets its money from us, the taxpayer. And then they lend it back to us at rates 500 to 1,000% higher than they're giving us. Does this sound right to you? That's called banking. Now, did you guys learn anything about banking in junior high or high school? No. You know why?
Because they want you to put the money in.
Yeah, they don't want you to know this. Do you guys know what McGraw-Hill is? What's McGraw-Hill? Big textbooks, right? This is what's teaching our kids and grandkids in school. McGraw-Hill. Do you know who owns McGraw-Hill? Bank of America. True story. My point here, guys, is if we're not educating our kids on finance, who is? And if we don't teach them this stuff, then the schools are going to teach them their propaganda, which is keeping us all broke. Agreed? So you guys have got to make the choice. I'm going to use this and I'm going to do something great with it. So long story short, we did fund the loan with Carol. Everything went great. Carol got paid off. Now, for the investor's return, assuming I had done this with my own money, where I keep the points and I keep the interest, do you realize that I would have made a 9.426% return on my money in 60 days? What's my annual rate of return? 56. Now, here's why this is important for you guys to understand. As we look at the baby boomers that are aging and starting to retire, if I've got $150,000 in my account and I stick it in a CD at 1.52, I'm going to make about $2,700 a year. If I take that same 150 grand and I invest it responsibly into deals like this, my 150 grand can produce $75,000 annually without touching my principal. Now, if I can take 75 grand, wrap that into my Social Security benefits of about 35 grand a year, how much am I making now? Over 6 figures. Can I retire comfortably on that? Yeah. Then why aren't more people doing this? They weren't aware of it. Okay? So I'm teaching it to you guys to make you aware of it in hopes that you will go teach it to others. Now, as Superman's dad, or was it Spider-Man's dad, said, with great responsibility, or what is it, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay? If you use this information for bad, Bernie Madoff, you will spend a very hot eternity. If you use this information for good, you're going to have a very successful career. Because when you do good things for people and they get good returns and you treat them right, do they tell other people? Yep. and your business just starts to grow organically, and people are coming to you and seeking you out and saying, hey, do you know where I could put my money safely and securely, predictably and reliably? Yeah, I know a guy. You should call that Secured Investment Corp company. They do a good job. One of our investors was at a poker game. He's in his early 70s. He's in a poker game just last week, and he was telling us this story. And he was sitting around with a bunch of buddies, drinking beer, smoking cigars, talking, and they were all talking about their stock market investments and this thing and that thing. And they actually made this comment. They said, oh, don't talk to him. He refuses to do anything with his money if a Secured Investment Corp's not involved. Now, that's not a bad reputation to have in the marketplace, is it? Now, that's what I want to see you guys working towards, is a reputation in your marketing community as somebody who is respectable and responsible with cash, and somebody who knows how to make cash mate, right? So that it produces lots more dollars. That's what you guys are going to do. Now, can you take this information right now and become a lender? If you got 25 grand, you can. But what if you only have 15,000? Could you be a lender then? Did you guys know that Coco Capital will do loans as small as $15,000? And if you go to our website at securedinvestmentcorp.com and click on the Lend button, you can actually see all of the loans that are available for purchase right now. How many of you knew that? Okay, so tonight I want you to go to securedinvestmentcorp.com and I want you to look at all the loans that are available for sale. These are loans that you can either buy yourself, these are loans that you can broker out, or if you'd like something easier, Caleb, can you hold up the note binder in the back there? You guys will look at Caleb back there. If you guys go through this binder at one of the breaks, these are some of the loans that we currently have for sale. Now, understand that that book is constantly evolving because we sell almost every note that we write. So we fund it with our private equity funds, and then we sell the paper, we maintain the servicing. Now, when I take a couple $1,000,000 and I deploy it 7 times a year, that's called velocity or churn, and I earn 5 points in loan origination on every deployment, and I sell paper I wrote at 15 at 10, what is my annualized yield? $1 turns 7 times with 5 points loan origination each time at 7 at 5 is 35, plus I maintain 5 points when I sell it. How much is that dollar producing annually?
70%.
Over 70%. Is that good? So my question was, how could I realize these profits over and over again? And the answer was as a private money broker. Now, is anybody here a private money broker? Okay. Does anybody want to be? Okay, a few of you. All right. So what is a private money broker? It's an intermediary who brings non-owner-occupied commercial real estate investors and borrowers together with private money institutions, but does not use his or her own funds to originate. Please write down the statement, does not use his or her own funds. You do not need to have any money whatsoever to do this. In fact, many of you spent the entire day doing it. Do you realize that? Whose money were you deploying earlier today in the exercise? My money. Your investor's money. Okay? A private money broker gathers paperwork from these borrowers and oversees the loan submission and packaging process for submission to the lender for underwriting approval and funding. Mortgage funds are then lent in the name of the private money institution. Upon closing, the private money broker receives an origination fee, often 1 to 3% per the private money institution's compensation for his or her services. So, you broker a $100,000 loan, you earn a point, what do you get? $1,000. You broker a $1 million loan and you get 3 points, what do you get? 30 grand. You broker a $10 million loan, you get a point, what do you get? It's 100 grand. Does anybody like these numbers? Okay? Now, you will find that there are a lot of very well-respected investors turning volume, large commercial investors. As you guys are going out onto LinkedIn and your various other web portals that you're all affiliated with as investors, you will see more often than not, does anybody know where I can get some money? Does anybody know somebody I can partner with? Everybody's looking for cash. You guys came in here looking for cash, didn't you? Okay, here's what you need to know. All the cash you need, we got it. Where we have a shortage is deal flow. So I want you guys to start responding to these people. Hey, I know where you can get some money. Now, are you just going to say call Kogo, or are you going to say send me your documentation, your paperwork? What are you going to do? Yeah, gather the data. Don't send me the lead because I'm going to fund it and pay you 25 basis points. Does anybody want to earn more than that? Okay? Being a broker gives you very high income potential. Here's what I love most, and you can read these as I'm talking. Here's what I love most about private money brokering. When do you get paid as a private money broker? At closing. When do you get paid as a real estate investor? When the deal is sold. As a private money investor, when I buy a piece of property, do I get paid at closing? No. I get paid when I fix it up and I market it and I find a buyer who closes. Then I get paid, don't I? Now that could be 6 to 8 to 12 months away, couldn't it? Do you want a paycheck in 6 months or you want a paycheck right now? No. Is it possible to broker money on your own deals? Yeah. So now I can get paid at the closing of my own deals, get the funding to buy the property, and get paid when I sell it. Is that a good idea? Yeah. Where are my real estate investors in the room, or my licensed agents in the room? Okay, good. All right. I like licensed agents because you guys are going to add another income stream to the mix. You're going to get paid for brokering the money, you're going to get paid commission for the deal, and you're going to get paid as the investor in the property. Can you do that, Sarah? Is that legal? Yeah, it's totally legal. That's why I'm a licensed real estate broker. I have been for 14 years. Regan's a licensed real estate broker because we want to maximize our income opportunities. Now, as a broker, I can help other investors get funding for their deals and get paid. As a realtor, could I maybe offer to list the finished product to that investor and pick up a listing too? Does that investor potentially want to buy more properties? Could I help them find more properties and get paid commission and broker fees on that deal? Yeah. Now there's one last thing I want you to throw in here. It's what's called an equity kicker. Please write that terminology down. As a private money broker, you can get paid a number of different ways. You can get paid loan origination points. You can get paid yield spread on the interest. Or you can get paid what's called an equity kicker. Okay? An equity kicker works like this. You essentially write into the note of the deed of trust that at closing, you, the private money broker, are entitled to 15% of the profit of the deal. Did you know that that's legal? Yep, because the investor is going to agree to it before you fund the loan. It's an equity kicker. Equity kickers are most common in large commercial transactions. So you won't see many commercial deals happening without some type of an equity play, because that's where the big money is. All right? Private money brokering is an expensive and daunting task, but it doesn't have to be as long as you go through the 7 steps. Okay, step number 1. You get an education and experience. Now, you could do this. Now, I will tell you this, guys, in full disclosure, you've got enough information that you could leave here today and go figure this out eventually. Now, do you want to figure it out eventually, or do you want to start getting paid immediately? Okay? So what you need to do is go through the 3-day training that we offer on this side of the business, okay? Now, let's assume you've gone through the training, you've passed the test, you've become a certified private money broker. We're currently the only company in America that is certifying private money brokers to go out into the marketplace and work with investors. Why would we create and authorize and train and test on such a certification? Because I got money to lend. And my affiliates, though you guys were bringing me good deal flow, you weren't bringing me quality deal flow. So rather than teaching you how to be a good marketer, I'm going to teach you how to be a good, strong broker. And you guys are going to go out into the marketplace and you're going to find and work with real estate investors, and you're going to assemble this documentation. And you're going to bring it to me with a pretty little bow tied on it. I'm going to fund the loan, and then I'm going to let you keep the bulk of the loan origination fees. Does that make sense? Okay? Now, the reason we created this, and this program's only been around now just over a year. We currently have about 320 certified brokers that are out there in the marketplace, and we're seeing increased deal flow. But here's really where this came from. I've spent time on Wall Street, guys. I've spent time in large hedge funds in Chicago and everywhere around the country, San Francisco, and they all want to write our company checks. There's only one problem. They don't want to write checks in increments smaller than $50 million. I actually had a Wall Street hedge fund. I was sitting with Fortress, which is one of the largest hedge funds in the world. They currently control about $65 billion under management. I was sitting in their ivory tower on 32nd Street in Wall Street, and they literally said to me, they said, Lee, we like your program, we like your model, we like everything that you're doing. There's just one problem. I said, no, there's no problem. Give me money. They said, okay, We'll give you $100 million, but you got to prove to us you can deploy it. See, we talk about raising money like it's the end-all, be-all. No, that's where it begins, because now you got to move that money. So through our private money certified brokers, we are creating an army through which we can deploy capital. Now here's the great part, and understand that we do not work with homeowners. We do not lend money to people that are going to live in the home. That's where licensing becomes an issue. You got Reg Z, you got all of the stuff that goes with dealing with owner occupants. We don't play in that space purposely. Now, one purpose is the licensing and all of the headache that comes from these homeowners. Here's the other problem. A homeowner will, on average, buy a house once every 7 years. Now, I started today talking about a book of business, right? Do I want a book of business that gives me money once every 7 years, once or 7 times per year, or 7 times per quarter, or 7 times per month? What do you suppose is better? Monthly, okay? Who's possibly going to borrow money 7 times a month? Real estate investors, okay? Our entire business is geared to servicing investors for that very reason. You guys churn volume, right? So if I can teach you how to be an incredible investor, to know exactly what a great smoking hot deal looks like, to know exactly how to bundle the loan and bring it to me, can I deploy a lot more money? Yeah. So tomorrow, you guys are going to be on a bus all day going through the types of properties that Kogo wants to give you money on. And there is no limit to the amount of money we want to lend. Why? Because all the money we raise, we deploy. The money we deploy, we sell the paper. And the money keeps coming back. And we sell it and it comes back. And we sell it and it comes back. It's the most fun business I've ever been involved in. I love it. But I need your help. Because I can't deploy the volume of capital that we are raising. Here's the other challenge. I can't raise it until I can prove that we can deploy it. So we steadily have to go. And the hardest part of the money business is sometimes I got more money than deals, and sometimes I got more deals than money. Who am I going to call in both of those scenarios? What many of you would refer to as my competitors. Now they're my allies, aren't they? Now they're my allies, which is why we are heavily connected with almost every private lender in the country, because if I've got too much deal flow, not enough cash, I'm calling those guys. And if I got too much cash, not enough deal flow, I'm calling those guys. See, it all works full circle. So there's no competition. It's what do you have right now? What are your needs right now? And let's work through and make some money together. Okay, so I want you guys to identify the type of business that you would like to specialize in. If you're a relatively new investor, I'm going to tell you the easiest place to make money is right here. Residential, non-owner occupied. This is 1 to 4 units. You're dealing with duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, and nothing beyond that. It's the easiest place to make money. However, the paychecks are relatively small because residential, unless you live in La Jolla, are not going to be sizable. La Jolla, where the average median home is, what, $780,000 now? Which means your fix-up house is about $400,000. A point on that's $4,000. Is that good money? It is if you don't live in La Jolla. Right, Ellie? Cost of living there is a little high. Now, if you want to make some big money, for those of you that like the commercial space and you envision yourself owning 50 and 100 and 200 and 300 unit apartment complexes, this is where you want to live. Now, here's the great part. If you can go out and find these types of people that are buying these types of properties and you know where money lives, you can not only get paid for brokering the deal, but you can also tie yourself into a percentage of the ownership through an equity kicker. So if you desire to play in this space, pursue that space with gusto. Now, I will tell you one of the funnest strategies that are happening right now in these last 3 sectors are something called syndication. Is anybody here doing any syndication? Do you guys know what syndication is?
It just depends on the one group of people, this kind of mafia thing.
Mafia.
Commercial real estate.
I can see Webster's dictionary. When you look up syndication, it says the mafia. Now, syndication is a group of investors all coming together with X number of dollars where they get a percentage of ownership. The easiest example is a $100,000 piece of property, 100 investors each bring in $1,000, and you own 1/100th of the asset. That's a syndication. Okay? Now, Wall Street has done a version of the syndication, which makes it a lot more complicated, but they're popping up everywhere, and they have been for years. Does anyone know what this is called? Okay, it's called a REIT. How many of you are familiar with a REIT? Okay, this is a real estate investment trust. Now, before you go out with visions of grandeur of starting your own REIT, please know that the REIT language mandates that the manager can only earn 10% of the profit. The other 90% has to be spread out through the participants in the REIT. So you guys can go to TD Ameritrade and some of the other larger platforms. They actually own their own REITs. The current returns in REITs is averaging somewhere between 4.5% to 7%. It's good, it's steady, it's spread out over a large mix of commercial spread out throughout the nation. So it's pretty safe, and it's not a bad investment, but you don't have any control. You don't have any ownership other than your little piece. Commercial, office complex, retail, industrial, raw land. Now, if I were a young man, I would play here. Raw land and development. The reason I would is between 2009 and 2013, new construction was at its lowest pace since 1929. We have a significant reduction in inventory in this space, and builders are begging for dirt anywhere they can get it. So if you know where there's some good raw land and you know some good developers, they are spending all their time finding dirt, not finding money. If you guys know where money is, Kogo, we like these types of projects. Now, how many of you are here from Dallas? Oh, I'm so jealous of you guys right now. You guys know Dallas is one of the hottest markets in America right now? What's Dallas's biggest problem? Lack of inventory. How do you create new inventory? There's two ways. You either convert old inventory into new inventory, i.e. fix and flip rehab. This would also fall in with the condo conversion if there's any of those that are left. That's where you take apartment buildings and convert them into condos. Most of those projects were gobbled up in 2003 to 7 through that whole growth cycle. So new construction is really where it's at. Dallas people, are you seeing a lot of new construction, new housing development popping up?
Oh, yeah.
All over, right? And where are you seeing it? Northeast corridor, south corridor, where's it going?
Most of them is in the 635, along the grade of the 360.
All suburbs? Okay, so if I'm you guys, I'm going down to the Department of Planning and Zoning, and I'm getting myself a territory map, and I'm looking at where what they call urban sprawl is occurring, and I'm going to see in what direction the bulk of the sprawl is happening. I'm going to drive out about 10 miles in front of it, and I'm going to start putting everything under contract over there. It's called a land lease, okay? You can get land leases for $25 if the seller's willing to sell. Basically, you say, look, if I can obtain a buyer at X, I'll give you X. If I can't, I don't owe you anything. It's the easiest way to lock up dirt. Now, there's another thing that's been going on here in Dallas related to homeowners' land. What is that? Is anybody in the mineral rights business? Mineral rights. Okay, those have been getting gobbled up by every oil company on the planet. And I'm curious. I don't know the answer. I want to know from you guys that are local, what is the current price of fuel doing to jobs here in Dallas? Are you seeing an effect? Because I read a report that we're seeing 20% unemployment in the oil business in Texas. It's more than that in Houston?
It's a lot further south. It's
Okay.
not affecting Dallas.
Okay.
When you get towards the border of South Texas, that's where you...
Okay. All right. So knowing that that's happening there, what is the next unintended consequence of unemployment? Foreclosure. And what is the precursor to foreclosure? Short sale. So if I'm an agent, and you heard Regan talking about our story because we made a ton of money in short sales, that's going to be the next hot space for short sales. As people become unemployed, they lose their home because they lose the ability to make their payment. I hope you guys are starting to at least understand that making money is relatively easy if you just know where to look, right? When you read the Wall Street Journal, do you read it for information or do you read it for opportunity? Read it for opportunity. I read that thing, okay, where is there blood in the streets? because that's where you buy. So all the negative stuff, France would be a really good place to be buying real estate right now.
Paris.
Why? Because they just had the shootings there and ISIS and the whole thing. People are running from France. You should be in there buying it all up. But they don't have French fries in France.
Or quarter pounder.
Yeah, it's a Royale with cheese. Okay, so once you've identified your market, guys, who are you, what are you? What are you specializing in? Business cards are a necessity, as well as flyers, mailers. You need to advertise your service. Now, your first deal in business is your most important deal if you leverage it properly. Okay? I remember years ago I went to a guy that ran a very successful marketing company, and I said, hey, I want to help people make money in real estate. He said, okay. He said, show me one person who would go on camera and confess that their success is a result of you. I said, well, I don't have any of those people. He said, call me when you do. Because until you have testimonials in your business, you got nothing. Because the highest producing marketing that you can put out there is a testimonial of somebody else saying how great you are. So do you have that person? If you don't, you better work hard to get them. And all you need is one. Because once you got one, you can get two, and when you get two, you get four, and four will give you 8. Because third-party endorsement is the most powerful form of marketing. Number 4, here's what your packages will consist of. Okay? The application package, the broker fee agreement, the business entity information, the appraisals, ordering the title report, calculating funds, verifying funds, provide hazard insurance, understanding time frame, second mortgage financing, and quick claim processes. Now, if you guys want to walk out that door and be in this business, these are all of the things that you need to produce. Okay? These are also all of the contracts and agreements that you need to have your attorneys draw. Okay? Would anybody like me to just give them to you? Is it going to cost you? Yeah. Okay? But it is an option. Now we need to market. Chamber of Commerce. Get the word out. How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Okay? So let me ask you this question. If I go to your LinkedIn profile right now and I look at your LinkedIn profile, am I going to be impressed? Okay, is that a problem? Okay? Your LinkedIn profile better sell you like it's nobody's business. And you need to start inviting people to join your network that have the leveraged or the reputational capital that is going to make you appear really successful. Now, you guys may find this hard to believe, but I am part of the Harvard Alumni Network. And I have never been to Harvard. Drove by it once. Nice place. Never been to Harvard. Why would I want to be part of the Harvard Alumni Network? Harvard, the school? Yeah. Sounds impressive. But who else is involved in the Harvard Alumni Network? Harvard grads. And where do Harvard grads predominantly congregate? Wall Street, which has a whole bunch of money, right? And the way LinkedIn works is it says, hey, if you know this person, you should probably be friends with all of these people. And I say, okay, I'll be friends with them too. And then they, oh, he's part of the Harvard Alumni Association. He must be good. Accept. I got over 700 contacts of hedge funds managers in Wall Street just through leveraging LinkedIn. Now, you guys need to take these tools seriously. And I will tell you in full disclosure, I hate social media like it's nobody's business. I hate it. You know, if I see another couple at a restaurant Facebooking each other, I'm going to scream. You guys heard of these restaurants that are now giving a 20% discount if you leave your phone at the front desk before you sit down to eat? This is a great idea because we want to be talking with people. Does anybody in here have a disdain for social media? Anyone? Okay. Good. We're going to get along famously. I hate it. But understand it's an incredible tool for business. So use it as you can. And I'll tell you, it's relatively easy to use LinkedIn for those types of things. Networking, RIA clubs, builders, developers, real estate attorneys, architects, appraisers. And then if you guys need lenders, these are some obvious places to go. My favorite, this one right here. Second only to this one right here. Okay? Why do you think I would target people that own real estate free and clear? They have equity. But what does the fact that they have equity say about them? it tells me that they are an incredibly conservative investor. Should they be? No. Now, why do I say that they are a conservative investor?
Because they pay off that.
Have you guys ever calculated your return on investment of equity? It's horrible. Do you know what it consists of? It consists of appreciation. That's it. Because everything else, if you got rents coming in from that free and clear property, that's an ROI on your cash, which is your equity. Wouldn't it make more sense to go get a loan against that free and clear asset and pay 9 or 10 points and do something better with the money? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense? Yeah. The other thing is, I go after self-directed IRA holders. Now, I use several self-directed IRA custodial firms. One of them is one of the largest in the country, and I won't tell you who because I'm going to tell you this story. I'm good friends with their director of education. And I was speaking with he came out and spoke at one of our last events, and they currently have $14 billion under management. $14 billion under management. Any guesses as to how much of that money is sitting in those accounts undeployed?
10 billion. Most of it.
14 billion, 8 billion is unused. It's just sitting there. Do you know why it's sitting there? They don't know what to do with it. They don't have deals. Okay? You guys are going to solve that for them. Number 7, you become the master closing, get paid. Get an automated CRM, have nationwide appraisal companies, partner with several title companies, and get a real estate attorney in place. Now, to do all these things would be incredibly daunting and expensive. However, in 4 days, we can make you a certified broker, and you can expect similar results. Okay? This is one of our broker checks. Now, these are important, guys, because this is money that's being paid at closing. $3,750 here, another one for $2,145. This is Patrick Lyle. He's one of our brokers out of the Midwest. He said, I've brokered 15 deals with your company. I've earned over $40K. I've done another closing on Monday with your company as a private money broker. Getting started as a private money broker was the best thing I've ever done for my real estate investment business. Now, that's the key statement. I'm not asking you to give up real estate investing. I'm simply saying add another income stream. You're already out there networking with investors anyway, aren't you? So how would it be if the next time you go to another real estate investment seminar, instead of coming as a student, you go as a lender? Would that change your profile while you were there? So you guys were up doing your introductions this morning, right? What if you would have said something like, hey everybody, my name is so-and-so, I'm from such and such a place, and I help real estate investors get access to capital. I can provide millions of dollars. Come and see me at the break. Who's going to come and see you at the break? Everybody. And what are they going to have? What are they going to hand you? Their card. And what are you going to do with that card? You're going to put it into a CRM or a database, and you are now building a what? A book of business. Okay? Once you understand what the bait is, it's really easy to catch the prey. In a real estate market, in a real estate community of investors, what is the bait? Money. Because they all need it. And when you say you got it, they come to you. And that's exactly what you want because you're going to help them get access to capital for all their deals. Ryan, Nikki, and Sandy came to one of our events, and they were real estate investors. They heard a very similar presentation to this. They said, you know what, Lee, we're going to be a lender. And they took their cash and they started doing private money loans. They closed on 5 private money deals. They made 16.5 on points, and they have 3 other deals waiting to close. The thing I like about this business, guys, when I get a check today, I have no ongoing liability, do I? I just get a check, and I go off and I do my thing. When I buy a piece of real estate, do I have ongoing liability? Yep, I got to pay taxes, I got to pay insurance, I got to bring in tenants, I got to collect rents. I got all of this, what we call in business is called tail. Okay? I like business where I don't have any tail. I get a check and I go along my merry way. That's what brokering does. Here's another check, $3,000 on that one. Here's one for $2,800. This is Rick Martin. He's out of Chicago. He does a lot of business with us. He said, I wanted to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you and everyone at your company for my tremendous success. I started in 2011. It's changed my life. He said, over the past 2 years, I was able to generate an income from closing loans from your training in excess of $200,000. Because of the new ARV financing, this is the after repaired financing available, he increased his income by another $300,000. Now, he says, I continue to expand and grow my business because of the backing and support of this incredible organization. Now, here's one of my favorite stories. This is actually one that we brought Rick in on. This is a house in Chicago that we lent on. The borrower defaulted, we foreclosed, which means we're now sitting on an REO, aren't we? It's a 3-story flat. It needs a ton of work. We don't want to do it. So we called Rick. We said, hey, Rick, you deal with investors all day, every day. Do you have anybody who wants to buy this place? He says, Lee, that place is a dog. I said, Rick, I'm aware it's a dog. Thank you for pointing that out. I said, do you have a buyer? He said, well, Lee, let me ask you this question. He said, would you give them money for rehab? I said, yeah, we'd give them money for rehab. That's what we do. He said, okay, tell you what. If you'll sell them the property for $11,000 and give them $87,000 in escrow for rehab, I can get it sold. We said, deal. We'll do it, Rick. Now, we foreclosed on the note for about $55,000. We sold the house for $11,000. Why would we do that? I don't want the property. I just want a check every month. That's all I want. That's what our investors want. Okay? So we took a loss to get rid of the deal. Here's how the deal shook out. Rick made $7,500 for facilitating the loan. His investor got a loan for $87,000, fixed the house up. We got a new appraised value at $290,000. But when his loan for the escrow came due, who do you suppose he refinanced it with? Us. So now I went from having a property worth $11,000 to having a property worth $290,000, securing the interest of our loan. Is that better for our investors? Yeah. Okay. So our brokers, guys, not only bring us deal flow, but because we help you guys build your own books of business, when we have REOs and foreclosures, we bring them out to you guys and say, hey, do you want to buy this house? Do you know anybody else who wants to buy the house? If you want to buy it, we'll give you a broker fee and we'll give you the money to buy it, fix, and sell it. If you know somebody else who wants to buy it, we'll give you money just for bringing them to us and bringing in the loan. Caleb, can you hold up the REO book, please? At one of the breaks, guys, I want you to go back and go through this book, okay? These are properties that we have lent on, we have foreclosed on. We now own these properties, or one of our investors own these properties. Here's the cool thing about that particular book. Every loan in there, we will give you financing. So let's get this straight. We are a lender that provides financing on its REO properties. Have you ever heard of a bank that does that?
No, they don't do that.
Wouldn't it make a lot more sense if they did?
Yeah.
They don't. We do. Okay? So these properties are made available to you guys as well if you would like to buy them. A broker provides access to financing. They do all the work to originate. You represent the borrower, not the bank, and you have access to many lenders that can find the best loan for the borrower. Now, once you graduate, guys, as a certified private money broker with our company, not only are we going to give you all the tools you need to go out and broker business, but we're also going to give you a list of 500 of our closest competitors or allies. Why would I give you all of our competitors or allies in the market? Because I want you closing loans. Is Kogo going to close every loan you bring us? Nope. And I'm not going to teach you how to bring loans that Kogo's going to close. I'm going to teach you how to package loans that anybody that has an appetite for that type of product will fund for you. We're going to teach you everything. Okay? A broker can earn easy fees on loans, shop for the best terms, find lender institutions who specialize in those various markets, find viable solutions for real estate investors to obtain money to close on your own deals. There's no experience necessary. How hard is it to sell? How hard would it be to sell a beautiful, working, pumping heart to somebody who had a bad heart? Would that be a difficult sale? No. Okay? Guys, we sell a product and service to people who need our product and service. So you're not selling, I call it consulting or advising. No experience unless you need them. There's no selling. There's no office rent. You guys can do this from your home. 2 things you got to have to be successful at this. Internet connection, telephone. That's all I need you to have. Now, in full disclosure, if you don't pick them up and use them on occasion, they are pretty useless. But with an internet connection and telephone, you guys can easily make 6 figures doing this. Perks for the lender, higher terms, shorter returns, strong collateral, hands-off investing. Perks for the borrower, it's easier qualifying, faster cash, flexible terms. Most loans we can close within 7 to 14 days. Is that pretty fast compared to what banks are doing? 7 to 14 days. So why would we train you? Guys, we really need a lot more competent, educated people. I would like for you guys to come into this room in the future, go through these files, and rather than a couple of hours to ascertain what is or is not good, you'd literally look at the thickness of it and know it's garbage. Okay? That's the level I want you to be at. You just know. You ask a few very pointed questions and you know you got a deal or you don't have a deal. I see so many investors wasting time on garbage deals because you don't have enough deals. So you're doing what we call deal hugging, right? Maybe if I hug it long enough, it'll love me. No. Nothing you can do is going to make the deal better. It either is or is not a deal, and we'll teach you how to point it out. Find the relationships, thousands of them. We have the funds. We've got the infrastructure. Guys, we've been building this for years. We're just going to plug you into an already working system. We service your clients and your loans, and we can take your package all the way to closing and ensure that you will get paid, and we'll ensure you and teach you to do this with proper contracts or contacts. So please write these dates down. February 19, 20, 21, and 22. That is about 5 weeks from right now. I will see some of you right here in this very room because we're coming back to this very hotel on these days. Okay? February 19, 20, 21, and 22. Now you're going to see a whole new crew when you guys come to this training because we're going to be bringing out to you those that teach and specialize in the broker side of our business. I'll introduce you to some of those people here in a minute. We train you to work with us. So on day 1, and please disregard the days. These are the days, February 19th through the 22nd. Okay, so day 1, which would be the 19th, how to generate the right kinds of borrowers, how to vet out the borrower for ongoing success, getting a handle on the guidelines, and submitting the application and ordering the appraisal. On the second day, how to keep the client communication lines open, quick processing, underwriting submissions, and underwriting conditions. Day 3, getting the funds for closing. We're going to show you how to broker it to us, as well as how to broker it to other people. Would anybody like to know of a system you can use where you type in a few short words, hit send, and your deal is seen by over 500 private lenders around the country in once? Okay? We'll show you that system and how it works. It's very easy, and it's free. It's free. Okay? I'll show you that.
Say free.
Free. Yep. Bonus day. On Sunday, we will take the test on Sunday morning. For those of you that pass the test, you will stay in class, and we're going to do a bonus day on marketing. Okay, we're going to cover copywriting, how to shoot your ready-to-fund deals over 55 social media sites in just seconds. So for those of you that hate social media like me, we're going to show you a portal where you just input the information one time and it pushes it out to 55 social media sites. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, it just splashes it everywhere. Your phone is going to ring off of the hook. Be prepared, okay? The Auto Deal Blaster, which I mentioned, banner ads, retargeting. We're going to show you guys how to buy ads on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can advertise on every single one of those. Would any of you like your company to pop up on Zillow every time an investor goes there to look at value? You can do that. Okay, it's pretty easy once you know how. That's the bonus day. Now, graduation from this training is guaranteed. However, you may have to take the test multiple times. So, at our class in December, we had about 20% of the class not graduate because they thought we were joking. This is a real test. It's a real certification. You need to come prepared and you need to study hard because we're going to teach you what you must have to get deals approved. So don't take this lightly. You need to come and pass the test. If you don't pass, you'll go out into the hall. You'll take it a second time. If you don't pass the second time, you'll start taking it from home. You can actually take the test online, but you do have to pass before you can start brokering loans to us. Properties we will fund for you and your clients: single-family, non-owner occupieds, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, new construction, rehab, fix and sell, fix and hold, commercial, tenant, retail, commercial, fix and flip, 5-family. Angelina Bianchino, she said, now I know all the importance behind-the-scenes details to how to get this done and how to do it. With the information, she says, I plan on making $60,000 to $70,000 in the next 12 months. Is that enough money for anybody? No. Good. I don't want it to be. Okay? Alicia Durant, she said this course was the best. It forced people to know their stuff and become more knowledgeable. The training was awesome. All of Lee's staff is exceptional. Having the attorney, the underwriter, the CEO, and the other professionals teach us each section they specialize in was great. Barbara Williams said, if you're in real estate, you have no choice. It's the way to broaden your business and have multiple streams of income. Mark Greenland, the speakers training is bar none the best out there. Cindy said, being certified makes you more credible to those you wish to do business with, and it does. We will give you your own certification. You'll leave with a certification certificate as well as a PIN showing that you are a private money certified broker. With the knowledge I've obtained, I plan on making $500,000 as a broker, says Patricia Ray. Is that good for anybody? Is that better than 60 or 70? All right, good. I like you guys better. That's what I want you doing. So why would we train you to work with us again? Guys, we don't have enough deal flow. We need more deals coming in the front door. So we're going to train you how to package them and find them and bring them to us. Now, 2 years ago, I came up with this great idea to have brick and mortar spread out throughout all the country. And we were going to open brick and mortar, and we actually went through all the trouble of franchising this. We spent $300,000 in legal fees, and we were going to pop them up all over the country. Here's what we learned. These brick and mortar facilities were not necessary to deploy the capital because we were moving more money through our brokers than we were through our brick and mortar facilities. So we've shut down the brick and mortar facilities. And our entire focus for 2015, the year of the client, that's you guys, is to do more loans with our brokers than we're currently doing internally. I want to lend more money through you guys than through my own in-house people. They don't like it when I say that. Do you like it when I say that? Yes. Okay, so you guys are our future. Franchise fees, we were selling them for $47,500. Somebody would have to invest $250,000 to build out their infrastructure, build out inventory costs, 3 loan officers, 1 branch manager, and an internal processor. Today, you're not going to spend $50,000. You're going to spend $2,497. Okay, so it's $2,497, or you can actually make 3 payments of $889.33. $889.33 to become a certified private money broker through the only private money certification program in the country. Now, once you've attended the live training, here's where this gets good. And this is only for the live training. You have to come to the live training for this to apply. I will pay you, in addition to whatever broker fee you negotiate with the borrower, I will pay you an extra $1,000 on your first 3 loans that you broker through us. So you invest $2,497 to become a broker. You do 3 loans on which you earn fees. How much am I going to pay you on those first 3 deals? $3,000. So how much are you paying to come to the training?
Zero.
Nothing. I really don't want your $2,500, guys. What do I want? I want your deals. Unfortunately, free has no value. Now, if this were free, how many of you would come? Free. No charge. Who's coming? Who's coming? Tammy, no? No. If it were free, forget $2,500. Oh, yeah, your cost of travel? All right. Okay. All right, if it's free, who's coming? All right. Here's the problem. 5% of you would do anything. However, when you pay $2,500, that jumps up to 15%, 20%, 25%, because when you paid for something, you treat it with a little bit more respect. How many of you remember the free cars your parents gave you? Did you drive it well? Versus the car that you pay for now out of your own hard-earned money. Yeah, see, we treat things that we pay for with more respect. So you guys are going to spend $2,500 to get certified, and I'm going to give it back to you when you close deals, because I don't want your money. I want your deals, okay? Now, for the 4-day broker, we got the 3-day training certification, $10,997, the 1 bonus day on marketing, $1997. Again, we're not going to do that, but I got 11 spots left for this class. So for the 11 of you that want to get started, it's $24.97 today, or you can set up monthly payments at $889.33. You just need to give it with Camille or Caleb in the back. Caleb and Camille, wave your hand back there. Everybody see them? See them back there? Say hi, Caleb and Camille. Okay. Get with them if you want one of these last 11 spots. Now, when you get signed up, guys, we're going to give you some precursor training so that you're better prepared when you get here. The first class will be entity setup. Setting up your entity, your website, your business cards, your online marketing, your Craigslist ads, and territory requirements. We want you to know how to start generating leads to your business before you get here. It would be great if you guys actually brought deals with you when you came to the training. Second, vet the borrowers like a pro. What's the target deal? Who's the target borrower? The loan package, the broker land deals, and the broker commercial deals. This right here is 8 hours of content. I want you to get through it before you get to the training. It'll be taught by some of our experts. This is Heather Dreves. She's managed to originate $3 million in revolving lines of credit for hard money funding. She's also managed over $150 million in funding and closed over $1 billion in loans. Heather is the director of our funding department. She's incredibly knowledgeable. Our underwriter, Terry, he will be teaching a section at the training. All of the legal work that you guys will have access to is coming from our in-house counsel, Jason Powell. Calling on a diverse legal and business background, Jason Powell focused on overseeing all legal, corporate, and regulatory compliance for Security Investment Corp. Which means we're taking care of it. You guys don't need to worry about it, okay? Bonus number 2, monthly broker training. So people like Rick Martin, those that are making 6 figures or more as brokers, you're going to be invited to join a phone call with them every single month. Learn what they're doing, how they're doing it, so that you can do it too. Also, all of our trainings related to marketing, lead generation, webinars, social media, all the loan documentation, underwriting, closing, and loan servicing, these are all available to you in digital video form. You can start watching them tonight if you so choose. We can get those out to you. Also, our unique loan funnel formula. This is going to get your deals funded fast. Also, guys, you can price deals on this site as well. Quick loan closing checklist, proof of funds for your clients. How many of you would like to provide proof of funds to your clients? Okay, this is going to help you write offers for your investors. Lender advertising, your deals will actually be on our top 10 lender deals, as well as our list of over 500 lenders around the country that we have relationships with that you can take your deals to. Here's some deals, $2,400 there. Here's another one for $3,300, $4,192.50. So some questions. Do you need a license to do this? No. Do I need an office location? No. I don't have the $497. Well, you can utilize the payment plan. I can't fly to Vegas in December or Dallas in February. Well, you can watch it online. However, watching it online, you do not get the $1,000 on your first 3-deal bonus. We give you that because we have discovered over the last year the people that come to the live training produce 2-to-1 volume over our home audience. So the value is in you coming to this location and being here on site. Well, I can't watch it online at that time. Well, you can take the home study course. You'll watch one of our presentations from December, and you can pass the test from there. Well, Lee, I'm not good at taking tests. Well, me neither. I was a solid C student. How many of you guys have heard the adage that all the A students work for the C students? Yeah. My preference when we hire people is that they have a college degree, of which I do not. And now I'm the person assessing and giving the tests where I used to be the one that sucked at test taking. So funny how everything comes full circle. If you're not good at it, you can take it multiple times. If you don't like money, nothing I can do for you there. I don't even know why you're here. This is a deal that we've been working on. This is 176 acres in Maui, Hawaii. Now, I don't make it a point, guys, to go out and personally inspect projects on site. This one I may make a concession for. Go walk the dirt on this one. But this is being brought to us by a broker. When and if that closes, it's $26 million. They're going to get a point on it. That's $260,000 for one deal. Is that good? Did you guys know that private money brokering was an actual business that people make a living at? Did you guys know that prior to coming here? Okay. The reason you haven't heard about it is in 2008, when the entire market crumbled, we went from 26,000 licensed mortgage brokers in the country to less than 5,000. So it is an industry that got killed in the recession, and it has not been valuable for anybody to get back into because of Frank Dodd. Frank Dodd has made it incredibly challenging to make money if you're working with owner-occupants. Do we work with owner-occupants? No. So the reason we've come out now with a certification is we need more people bringing us deals. We used to go through all of the other licensed brokers in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. There's plenty of brokers. Now, there's just not enough of them. We need more. Last year, we closed 60% of our loan volume with brokers, not through our own marketing efforts. So it's through you guys that we are growing this business. So who should do this? Those of you who are tired of waiting for everyone else to find you money. You guys go from giving away the responsibility of finding money and giving away control of your business to taking control of your business, because you now will be responsible to find your own cash. You will never have to wonder, where am I going to get the money to do this deal? Because you're going to know. You will broker your own capital for your own business. Those of you who have purposely not been writing more offers because you didn't know where the money was going to come from. How many of you guys have actually not written an offer on a piece of real estate because you didn't know where you're going to get the cash? How much did that cost you? How much more money would have you made if you knew exactly where you were going to get the money? And that was never a question. Would you buy a lot more real estate? I'm going to show you guys how to access trillions of dollars in private money. It's the easiest part of the deal. But right now you're just blinded to it. I'm going to open your eyes. Those of you who know the only reason they aren't making more money is because they don't know where to find the money. I'm going to show you. It's really easy. Those who want to have ample money for all their deals would also like to add streams of income by helping other investors get their deals funded as well. And those who understand the power of multiple streams of income. Again, I am not trying to talk you out of being a real estate investor. But from one real estate investor to another, guys, the biggest challenge as an investor is the sporadic highs and lows of income. right? I buy a house, I fix it, it sits on the market, I need it to sell, I got bills to pay. Finally it sells, I take a discount because I got to have cash, I get a check, and I'm broke again. See, as a real estate investor, you go from rich to broke overnight as you go from deal to deal to deal to deal. Brokering gives you that consistency of income because when you're working on your own deals, you're doing that. When you need cash, you go broker some money. Now you start getting predictable, reliable income. You submit your borrower's private money loan packet. We then give you a quote. We add your fee to the private money loan quote once your borrowers agree to the terms. However, you must be a certified broker to do this. Now, here's where it's going to get really exciting. Okay, here's everything that's included. Proof of funds letters. Again, it's $24.97 or 3 installments of $889.33. I got 11 spots. Now, within the next 90 days, now this is 90 days from graduation. When you close a deal, either on a personal or one you've brokered, I will double your fee. So if you're going to make $3,000 on the brokered deal, I'll give you $6,000. If you're going to make $5,000 on a brokered deal, I'll give you $10,000 on any deal you do in the next 90 days. Why would I do that? Do you seriously get a check for 10 grand and go, gee, that was fun, I never want to do that again? No, you go, holy cow, this thing actually works. I'm going to go do it again. I need volume from you. If I got to lose money on the first couple of deals to get you moving, that's exactly what we're going to do because I want your volume. Now, here's the really fun part. For all of our certified brokers, we give you guys 2 things. Number 1, we give you wholesale pricing, which means you guys have pricing that the general public does not. A handful of you in this room to go out and start building a book of business of people who are borrowing millions and millions and millions of dollars. Can we move billions through our network? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're building. That's what's exciting. So, for those of you that are getting started, your wholesale price is 1 point and 10% interest. That's what you pay for money. 1 point, 10% interest. That's your cost of capital. How you mark it up is your profit. Okay? So if you go to our website, our cost of capital starts at 10 and 4. 10 and 4. So if one of your clients comes to us and says, what is your cost of capital? We quote 10 and 4. If they come to you and ask your cost of capital, what do you quote them?
10 and 4.
Well, if you quote 10 and 1, you don't make any money. So you want to quote them 10 and 2, 10 and 3, 10 and 4, 10 and 5. Okay? 12 and 6. Now, I keep the interest. You keep the points. Just like my deal with Carol. See that? I keep the interest. You keep the points. See how that works?
But why your rates are not competitive with the banks?
Because I'm not a bank.
No. I mean, it looks like a Bank of America or 5 to 6%, just steady interest. The money that you're lending.
This is private money.
Okay.
This is not bank money.
I know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is.
What you'll find, Debbie, is that in this business, our rates are incredibly competitive. Incredibly competitive. Can anybody give me an amen? 10 and 1. Is that cheap money in the private money space? Yeah. Look at the competition. You guys were looking at files all day at 10 and 15. You guys were actually writing loans today at 5 and 7 points, weren't you? Yeah. Now you're paying 1. That's competitive. Okay? So, again, I got 11 spots for those of you that want to get started. Come back here in February, or you can break it up into monthly payments if you so desire, but you can do that here today. Did you guys learn anything this afternoon? Yes. All right, cool. Here's what we're going to do now. As we are leaving for the evening, get to the back table, get signed up. I need more brokers. Where are my VIPs? Okay, cool. VIPs, we are going to have a VIP cocktail party, and that's going to be held where?
Salon A, which is at the end of this hall, the opposite end of this hall.
Okay, so VIPs, you're going to go out this door and go all the way down to the end of the hall and go into Salon A, where we're going to have some networking. I'll be over there. Let's chat. Let's figure out how we make some money together. So get to the back table, get signed up to become a broker. Once you've done that, head down to the VIP. If you're not a VIP and you'd like to come to the networking party, also, you get lunch tomorrow on the bus. Also, you'll be coming to a very private, very special dinner with me on Saturday evening. You can still sign up to become a VIP. Just get with Caleb or Camille at the back table there. Otherwise, have a great evening, guys. Wait. Camille, what do you got?
Remind them about the app for the bus tour tomorrow.
Okay, the apps that you guys need to download onto your smartphones tomorrow are rentometer.com, Trulia.com, Zillow.com, and Realtor.com. Download those on your smartphone. You're going to need them on the bus tomorrow. And be back here in the morning at 8 a.m. sharp, guys. The bus will leave at 9 exactly. We got some housekeeping stuff to do before we get on the bus, and if you're not there, you will be left behind. So don't be late. Otherwise, have a great evening. Thank you.